Please go to H. Please go to your report.
Yes.
And paragraph 3, starting with the morning, reported that prior to the incident, she had been involved in domestic violence incident in which she sustained injuries, including fractured left hand and right arm.
Yes.
Did you interview Molly on this?
Sorry?
Did you interview Molly on
No,
this
this
information?
was information
Okay.
that clearly provided
You
during
said
the
you
case.
did not interview her, that's enough.
No.
Then you also go ahead to state that she was comatose for a number of days, and on recovery, it was alleged that she had fatally shot Henry Katanga, and she was charged with murder.
Yes, that's what I understand.
From the documents you reviewed, which specific one provided you with that information?
This is background information during the
Which
various
document?
conversations with KAA.
So this was conversation.
This was conversations
Okay.
with background information
That's
with
okay.
KAA.
You will also agree with me that information relating to her health status is related to medical care, isn't it?
It is, but as I've stated, it's
Just a
from
minute,
information
you have-
provided. I have not.
Related to medical care, yes or no?
There is no interpretation, and this is background information provided.
Just give me an answer. Is it related to medical care or not?
It is, but there's no
Okay.
interpretation at all.
From what you have just provided court, apart from the documents that you were provided, you had a lot of other information that formed the basis of your opinion. Is that correct?
None of the information regards the medical formed the basis of my evaluation
I
of the
have
findings.
not gone to medical care. I'll go there when time is required.
None of the information provided forms any part in my evaluation of the DNA findings at all. This is purely background information provided for the purpose of my report.
So my question to you is, do you agree that you had a lot of information other than in the documents that guided you in making your conclusions?
No, the information which guided my conclusions is stipulated in.
I don't know, and I'm coming there. But I want you to confirm that I had a lot of information, not some. Documents and some from the conversations you had with KAA, right?
Yes, but the information,
That's okay.
the pertinent information which was
Ms.
involved
Hingley,
in my evaluation is very different to the background information.
kindly respond to the questions that I have provided and don't set your own questions. You hear me? So pay attention and provide an answer. As brief as that. It's not what the witness wants. So now, yes, no, I don't know.
Of the of the where we have information with purely background information. Where we have information with purely background information.
Sometimes within the relevant information, sometimes within the fact that is
our expectations of the findings, but in this instance, the background information was just that. It enables us, that pathology confirms that there was a shooting, so therefore the gun is of significance, and equally that it occurred in the marital home of both Henry and Molly.
Miss Hingley, is it therefore your evidence that all the background information you received in this case did not help you in making the interpretations in coming up with your conclusion?
That stipulated in the information received, yes, didn't affect the conclusion.
Did it support you in making your opinion?
Not in the information received, no.
You didn't know?
No.
I'll draw you to page 8. This is what guides you. In paragraph 1, you actually referred to the injuries as the basis of one of your opinions. Is this correct or not?
Yes, these were the bleeding injuries.
Okay.
So the bleeding injuries did, but they weren't the injuries I was referring to. They were the fractures, not the bleeding injuries. Therefore, the expectation is high.
No, you have answered me. Please don't bother too much. We will move on.
It's not such language. It is finished. No, I have addressed it.
As an expert,
the English definition of blabbering is actually very bad.
I have read.
Ms. Hingley, as an expert, you should be aware that case review should be neutral and is intended to make court understand the whole case in a straight and clear manner. Not so.
Correct.
On the contrary, a defense review in an adversarial system, like in the UK and also Uganda, is intended to find weaknesses in the prosecution evidence and to build a defense case. Is that correct?
No, the purpose is to review the Crown case and to comment on. If I agree with full findings, I say I agree with full findings. It's not to find holes in the case at all.
All right. Ordinarily, for a case review of this nature, how long would it take you to undertake it?
It really does depend on the number of exhibits and what I find when I review the findings.
Would it take a month? Since you had the information, would it take you a month?
Once
2 weeks?
everything is received,
Yes.
I would expect that a case review of this side will take about a month's worth of work.
A month.
A month to confirm everything, yes.
All right. So in this case, when was the last time you received, when did you receive the last information?
I can't remember, I'm sorry.
You can't.
But it's not a case of, it's a linear process at all.
Do we say last year?
Yes, it would have been last year.
2024.
Yes. 25.
2024?
2024 was the initial contact.
And we say
2025
2025?
information was still coming through.
Okay. So we can say by 2025?
The end of 2025, I believe.
You testified in this court and made a lot of references on if the scene was covered with blood. You also said if the accused sustained injuries, and it is very referred to the number of ifs.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Your use of the word is made as an assumption, right?
It's the good grounds for an assumption based on the
It's an
information.
assumption.
Yes.
Okay. And none of the assumptions you make were verified to establish the true status of facts, correct?
Correct. I wasn't provided with any
That's enough.
documents to help.
You have answered me. The reason you could not verify, you're saying you had not been given any information.
I've not been provided with any notes made at the scene at all.
My understanding, therefore, is when you make comments about the scene, about injuries of parties, this was based on assumptions and not concrete evidence to support. You don't have evidence to support any of the assertions.
I had images of the scene where there is amounts of blood spatter and there are blood pools on the floor. Therefore, it would be a reasonable assumption that was significant amount of bloodshed available for onward transfer.
Other than that, you don't have any other information.
I have information that the bed was used by both and therefore it's reasonable to assume their DNA would be present on that item. There's been no testing to confirm this, but it is a reasonable scientific expectation that there would be DNA from both available on that bed for onward transfer.
Okay. In relation to my earlier question, I'll refer you to page 28
28.
of your report.
Yes.
In your report, you state and make reference to domestic violence being present.
Not on page 28, no. Domestic context.
Read. Given the domestic context, which included alleged domestic violence.
Oh, sorry, yes, my error, yes. Sorry, yes.
So you make reference to domestic
Sorry, I
violence.
do, yes.
According to who is alleging the violence?
The information I obtained from
Who
KAA,
is alleging violence?
from information I was provided from KAA, there was domestic violence.
From the information you got,
Yes.
who is alleging violence?
Don't know. I don't know. That's the information I've been provided with.
In the documents you reviewed, which particular one?
This was at verbal discussions with KAA. This wasn't in any of the crime documents at all.
This was a verbal. Did you verify this fact? You, as Ms. Hingley, did you verify this fact?
My
Did
job as
you
a
or
scientist
you
is
did
not to
not?
verify the information I've been provided.
Did you or you did not?
I do not verify any information provided. As is clear in my statement, if the information
You have
changes,
already
I
provided the
re-evaluate.
answer. Do you know who assaulted Molly?
No,
Do you know how Molly was assaulted?
no, but from the blood spatter, it's apparent that there was significant
We will
impacts
go to
into
the
wet
blood
blood.
spatter later. Just
But
answer
that
my question.
scientifically, that is, there was impacts into wet blood.
Did the blood spatter indicate who
No,
assaulted?
no.
It says the blood spatter did not indicate who assaulted. That was not what I asked. Hmm? Yeah. That was her own imagination, maybe. It's not.
What scientific document does she have that shows?
I have not even asked about a scientific document.
What information did she have to show how the Molly was assaulted? Her answer was from the blood spatter, there was significant impact in something.
So if you had why?
No, I'm also not the something.
I did not go to blood spatter.
No. My other question was asked.
Transcribed report. She will arrive at
The blood.
question mark, you know who was and the answers. Then the other question, do you know how body was assaulted? And she said, I do not know how body. Then, I do not know how body. Then the witness agreed.
Is that what you want her to say? Or what is
Maybe
it?
that's what you want her to say.
Because maybe that's from the first, if she ever said it.
Maybe to settle Mr. Karuhanga's thoughts. Did the blood spatter mention who assaulted Molly?
It's not possible from the spatter to say who, but it gives an indication of how that blood spatter was created.
That's okay. We went through part C of your code. Forensic regulator.
Yes.
Part C specifically provides for the conduct of an expert.
Yes.
Part C. That's at page 114. And it requires an expert to act with honesty,
Yes.
with integrity,
Yes.
with objectivity,
Yes.
with impartiality
Yes.
in conducting casework.
Yes.
Please confirm with me that one of the things that make an expert's report unreliable is proof that the expert was biased in doing their work.
Yes.
Some of the evidence of bias includes where an expert acts with personal interest.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Where acting with personal interest. Where an expert acts on information outside the scope of his or her instructions.
If that information is then used for further an evaluation, yes. If they've gone outside their area of expertise.
It makes them biased,
It,
right?
if used in a certain way, yes.
Outside the scope of
His or her instructions.
Experience.
the expert acts outside the scope of
Experience.
I said instruction. That's why I advise you to kindly listen to me. On information outside the scope of his or her instructions.
The instructions provided do not limit to the review of my case.
I'm just giving you general information of
That,
what
that
makes
doesn't
an
create
expert.
bias. No. No.
Okay. An expert can also be biased where they rely on unverified sources of information other than one's analysis. Is that correct?
No.
It can also be evidence of bias if there is evidence to show that the expert relied on facts other than information placed before them. Is that correct?
Yes, if they're using information they weren't given, yes.
Where one uses information out of the documents of review, right?
Documents and or conversations we've had with the various parties involved in the case.
So once you use information outside, you're
If I
biased.
haven't been provided with that and I have made that up to make the scientific findings fit, then yes, that's bias.
An expert relies on information that supports only a given hypothesis while totally ignoring everything else.
Yes.
Bias.
Yes, where only one alternative's been considered, yes.
Also, it's evidence of bias where an expert makes selective conclusions, cherry picking.
Yes.
An expert is also biased where they have information which is over and above the scope of their instruction.
It depends how that information's used. Yes.
So I'll take you to your report.
Yes.
At page 5.
5. Yes.
Paragraph 4, you refer to the word reportedly.
Sorry, where are we looking?
Look at page, read it.
5, yes.
Go to paragraph 4, additional exhibits.
Oh, yes.
Read it.
Additional exhibits were reportedly subsequently created from the firearm. Namely,
It's
item.
okay.
Sorry.
That's enough. You also use the word apparently in the previous paragraph.
Yes.
Apparently.
Yes, because there's no confirmation.
Those two words are actually used because you had no confirmation.
There's no confirmation, however, in the documents,
No.
they specified that those items existed.
Miss
So
Hingley.
it's not made up. It's based on the records provided.
You see now, when you use those words, it means that you were not actually even sure of the source.
They were in the
Yes
they were
or
in
no?
they were in documents, so I know they
Were you
existed.
sure of the information or not?
They were taken direct from the Crown's documents, so yes.
Did they indicate reportedly or apparently?
The only reference I have is very minimal. I do not have full continuity, and therefore I cannot confirm where they were taken, who took them, and where they went afterwards.
So,
Hence, apparently.
please confirm to this court that Even when you did not confirm, like you have said, you still went ahead and made conclusions, didn't you?
No, no conclusions were made. It's
did
from the
not make-
it's from the documents that the exhibits 4.1 and
Is
4.3
it evidence that you did not make any conclusions?
samples were
not.
taken from the firearm before it reached the laboratory.
So you did not make any conclusions relating to.
The only conclusions are that it's recorded that they were taken, but I have no notes whatsoever as to who took them, when they were taken, and any continuity of those. So it's an observation of, again, of poor scene control. No, it's an observation that within the notes at the scene, an exhibit, the magazine was exhibited as 4.1, and equally a swab was taken from the trigger, creating 3. It was mentioned in that scene report, and it again is mentioned in the DNA report, but there is no information that I'd expect from the person taking that swab, when it was taken, who it was taken by, and the protective equipment that they were wearing to prevent cross-contamination. It's an observation that the scene had, the firearm had been manipulated at the scene.
That's okay, Miss English.
So this is purely that it's another stage where something has happened to that firearm at the scene,
Okay.
where I cannot, it introduces another possible mechanism for onward transfer of DNA, but I cannot confirm because the notes were not provided.
All right. In that your report, did you make any conclusions relating to the magazine?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
This was regardless of the fact that you could not, or you were not in possession of the information relating to those exhibits. Correct? Yes or no?
I didn't have full information, but I had
That's enough.
I had partial information which demonstrated there was poor scene
You
handling.
had partial
I had partial
information.
information, as did anyone else in this
That's
case.
okay.
That poor scene handling had taken place.
At page 4 of your report,
Yes.
you indicate that Patricia had or was living with Molly and Henry Katanga up to 4 days before the alleged incident.
Yes, that's what I
From
understand.
the documents, this is paragraph 4.
Yes, on page 3, yes. Yes, page
Yes.
3. Was it 4?
Page 3. I further understand that Patricia lived with Henry and Molly up to 4 days. 3. Page 3. The
Yes.
fourth paragraph.
Yes, again, that's information provided by KAA in the various discussions we had.
Oh. Kindly, you said the source was?
KAA in the general conversations about the case.
And this was not contained in any of the documents you reviewed, correct?
No.
That general information you received from KAA
Yes.
actually guided you in coming up with your conclusions, correct?
That formed
Did
part
it guide you in making your conclusions?
purely that there had a reasonable expectation of detecting DNA
Did
from
they
Patricia.
guide you?
Yes, it gave me an information on which to have an expectation,
So,
but that information did not dictate my findings at all.
So it gave you information on which to base.
To base an expectation of DNA from Patricia being present, just as being part of the social domestic setting.
at page 7 of your report,
Yes,
you indicated that you did not have information about crime scene management, right?
I only had the crime scene report, yes.
She did not have information about crime scene management. She's, that was the question I gave her. She says she only had the crime scene report. Maybe you will respond.
So I didn't have details of how the scene was processed, but I have the crime scene report.
Okay. Your conclusions, therefore, on page 7 are based on hypothetical inferences and not actual cases. Not so.
The details which were in the crime scene report contain those photos which
Your
demonstrated
conclusions on page 7
in
are
respect to the
based
crime
on-
scene.
Yes, are based on hypothetical inferences and not a particular case, right?
They are based on the information contained within the crime report, those photos taken, the fact that I had images of individuals at that scene without
Miss
proper
Henry,
protective
when I
equipment.
make, I'll take you to page 7. Specifically, when you're making about international standards and profiling,
Yes,
those conclusions specifically are made based on hypothetical inferences and not on an actual case, right?
in this instance, they were not wholly hypothetical because I had indications that the scene was poorly managed. There were individuals in that scene without the required protective equipment. There was information that an individual with gloves, but I do not have. So whilst an incomplete picture is present, this interpretation was not solely based on hypothetical because there was evidence that that scene was very poorly managed.
Were you informed that all procedures of crime scene management and recovery of exhibits were provided in this court? And you listened through the evidence, by the way. Are you aware of that?
I didn't listen to the full crime scene, so I do not know the ins and outs of it, but
What part of the evidence did you listen to?
I listened fully to the DNA evidence.
sent the evidence related
Crime scene, yes, didn't hear that. The DNA from start to finish, yes.
Would your opinion be different if you were provided with information that actually indeed all the precautionary measures you talk about were undertaken?
The information
Would
in that
your
report showed that it
opinion-
wasn't,
Would your opinion be different?
possibly, but the document shows that they weren't.
That's fine. I'll take you to page 16 of your report.
Yes.
At page 16, paragraph 1,
Yes.
you said that Patricia picked up the firearm at the scene and placed it on the bed.
That's what I was
Is this
informed.
information that you also received from KAA?
Yes.
Let's take the interpretation.
para yokutegeeza emisango eno abatakwikirizibwa okulora amawulire goona agakwata hali ebyobwomeezi by'omuntu. Ekyo lupapula lwakusatu akoleka nti Mole akaba abalizeeko hali obutakwatagana bw'omaka kandi okulwanagana bw'omaka kandi atungire ebimuta baitu kutegeezebwa nti atamukaguze rundi atabaze nawe kandi akoleka nti alupapula lwe lumu alabikoleka nti Mole akakabaho okumala ebiro obwe yayimukire bamugambira nti akayita Henry Katanga baitu bino akabiha omukubazahawo n'abanyamateeka b'olubaju olukunganirizi kandi bino byona bizibu byona bikwata na hali eby'obwomeezi bw'omuntu. Akatongo omanyisibwa bingi muno okwamuhairwe okuruga omu bihandiiko kandi n'okuruga okumanyisibwa okundi baitu okutabaire okwamuhaire okuteebereza baitu okutamuhaire ekyokukiwamu ebindi byona ebyatungire n'ebyamanyire akabiteeka harubaju kyonka yakozesa ebihandiiko ebyali bimuhairwe okulorawo ndi ogarukamu okwetegereza omusango guno. Harupapula 28 akoleka nti Mole akaba n'ebikuta baitu kandi nk'omukogo akimanya kurungi nti obubani akarukamu okutegeeza omusango bino ebintu ayina kukola kandi ayina kuba atalina saidi ate n'olubaju olwakugweraho okusobola okukonyera amateeka okwetegereza ebikozerwe.
kandi tegeezebwe nti omukwetegereza okuli asaidi y'okutonganirwa kuba ekyo kiba kikozerwe okusobola okwihawo omuntu omusango baitu kandi ekitali mazima kiba kiri okukozerwe basobole kuba tibagambaho ebintu ebindi n'ebindi ebikuba biyitagisize. Kandi kino kisobola kuba nikitwala nk'okwezi hanyuma y'okutunga amahulire goona lundi okumanyisibwa okukwetagisa. Kandi kirategeezebwa nti mu mwaka 2025 byonna byakaba nayitanga okugarukamu okukozesa okugarukamu olw'okutegeeza omusango guno kakuba lundi kakusangwa ekikoleka nti aize natereeza ebintu bingi ebitalina mazima baitu kino kiri habwokuba nti ataheebwe okumanyisibwa okukumala kale eyo yesanga nti alina kuba nakozesa ebereza. Akiikalo kino akoleka nti gakoleka nti abantu ababaireho nabo tigagomebwa bulungi. Talina mahulire agakoleka talina okumanyisibwa okukumwoleka wange omuntu okukwasire londi okwasensekere lundi omusaayi ngokwasensekere baitu kino kandi tasobola kumwetegereza ekyabairewo hagati ya Mole na Henry. Olupapula 28 akoleka nti hakabaho okulwanangana okwabaire biteeberezebwa lundi okwabaire kugambibwaho baitu gandi goona galina kumanyisibwa okuyatumire okuluga okubazaaho n'abamateeka abulwaire okutonganira Mole. Kandi bino byona atabirolemu okubigumya ntiko niko byabaire. Tamanyire oha lundi mulingo ki ogwa Mole yalumbirwe. Okuseseka kw'omusaayi nako tikukwoleka lundi tikugambaho oha yakikozere. Olupapula 14 olwa ekitabu eky'amateeka gakugira lundi agalolera lundi agafuga abadaktari abadaktari nkawe sobola okusalamu kandi tolokoleka nti alimu ebikoleka nti kakusangwa omuntu lundi daktari aba akozere omulingo gwe mulingo obutaterekereire olundi kakuba aba akikozere kakusangwa nti akikozere abokwera kwe omuntu olundi akikozere akolere habiragiro ebihinguraine ebikukira ndi akozere ebintu ebihingure hari ebiragiro ebyatungire ebikugwa omulimo ogwainakora olundi akozesa amakure agatamuhaire olundi akozeseze amakure we agatekereze ebyo byona olundi acwiremu we okwatekereze ebyo byona kiba nikumanyisa nti abaire n'okwekubira saidi emu ekikusanyizibwa nkaka kusanga omuntu aba nanoga ebyokulya lundi nka ebijuma. Ahandi aize nakozesa muno ekigambo nti kikugambibwa olundi kiteberezebwa. Bino byona bikumanyisa nti alina makulu lundi alina kumanyisibwa okwata agumize baitu kandi kino haliwe kikikwoleka nti nikyo ekyamuhaire ebintu ebyacwiremu kandi azinakora emalira enchwamu ekwatagana hali emundu nebintu byona ebikwatagana ha mundu enu kandi nabo aina amahuriro rundi okumanyisibwa okwecwekacweka ahandi akoresha nti Patricia akaba naikara na Moye na Henry ebiro nkabina enyumaho okutenda mutaka baingeho kandi navugana mahure akugamanyisibwa abanyamateeka abobaju olutunganyirizi kandi kiri kankona mu bihandiiko ebyamuhairwe nebyo nebikubazibwa hali Patricia byona ebyazoire tibina hali bihandikirwe mu bihandiiko ebyatungire tena kumanyisibwa okukwata hali ekicweka kire kyakolirwa omusango baitu kandi ekihandiiko ekyakoze bwoho kandi ebyacwiremu rundi ebyakoze ebyamalirize natugamba hanyuma biri byona bisigikire hali ekihandiiko ekibamuhaire kandi ekikoleka nti hakabaho obutakwata kurungi ekikaro kino ekikumanyisa nti kale takutebereza baitu akusigikira hali amahure rundi okumanyisibwa okwamuhaire okuliza kurungi obwakaiso atawuliza obwakaiso bwona obukaba nibukwata ha bintu ebindi baitu okuyaho obwakaiso bukaba nibukwata hali obuhangwa bw'omuntu obwahairwe omulukaro lw'amateeka kandi nowakubaire nti bamuhaire okumanyisibwa kwona nabo kikubaire nikihindura enchwamu eyatwiremu kakuba abaire agambirwe nti okugendereza kwona kukakolebwa bakaba nibakora emirimu yaabo ababaire nibakora mu kitaro kino nabo tikiina ekikusobola kuhindura kandi nti nekigamulwa nti nokumanyisibwa nti Patricia akaiha emundu hansi yagiteeka hakitabu nakyo kikamugambirwa abanyamateeka ba olubaju olw'omukanirizi
Miss, from what you have just told us, I would like you to confirm that you held several meetings with KAA.
Yes,
right?
online, yes.
And in fact, please confirm that you kept receiving progressive updates about this case until you did your report, right?
Yes, there was constant communication between us, yes.
Who in particular?
And from various bodies were sending me over documents,
Who?
links.
I haven't asked even the question. She received regular updates until she made her report. Who in particular from KAA gave you these updates?
My main contact was Ellison.
Anybody else?
I was receiving documents from various parties in KAA, just for administrative purposes.
Specifically on updates, apart from Elson, anybody else?
Not that I recall, no.
And please confirm that you came up with your report on 17th of March 2026, after this court had found that the accused had a case to answer. Is that correct?
Yes, that's not unusual.
Please confirm that Europhonics is a widely peer-reviewed and globally accepted software in DNA analysis, isn't it?
Yes, the producers that wrote it are renowned, but in the UK, nobody uses it.
That's okay.
Yes,
Widely accepted software in DNA analysis, isn't it?
yes, but that's different from forensic laboratories. No one in the UK, this is the first time across a laboratory using Euroformics in a forensic field.
All right. Fortunately, we are in Uganda, so I'm not in the UK.
No.
Do you confirm that Euroformics was first released in 2017 to 2019? Do you
Yes, I
recall
believe
that?
so, yes.
And you, as Miss Hingley, you last did technical work in the year 2003, right?
In 2003, this
Yeah.
sophisticated software was not available. However, I
So-
know the systems used in the United Kingdom, so I understand the principles of all the software.
That's okay. Just answer my question and we'll be able to move faster. That means that even when you undertook this case review, you used a different software, right?
Yes, everyone uses a different software in the UK, but the principles are the
Yes,
same.
you have answered me, Ms. Hingley. You used a different software to do the review. The software you used was STR.
StarMix is one of the
StarMix?
software used, but in this instance, I've carried out no calculations at all.
Okay. And then you also used what other software?
Other software available in the UK is called Like Ltd, but all the software used is locked down. It cannot be changed by any of the analysts in the laboratory.
I have not asked about laboratory team. Please stick to what I have asked you.
They're the fundamental differences as to why we use the ones we do. Like Ltd and StarMix, STRMix. They're the two which are used, and one of the providers uses DNA Lyra.
Okay.
But Manolo, I think, sorry to tell my colleague, we're using the software for this report. Analysis in this case, in this report.
It's DNA LIRA, the DNALIRA. But I, in this case, have not used any statistical software at all. It wasn't necessary.
Given the fact that Euroformics is an open source, you would have accessed it to do your review, not so? Wouldn't it have been prudent for you to use it?
It was
To do your
available,
analysis.
but the open source...
Was it prudent or not?
No, I did not need to use it at all.
Euroformics, just like other softwares, one must set up parameters
Yes,
for internal use in a lab, not so?
yes.
These parameters vary from lab to lab.
Yes, they do.
So meaning that each lab is at liberty to set up its own standards in accordance to acceptable international standards, correct?
Yes, they need to validate their process.
From your report, you indicate that because you did not have validation protocols, you cannot therefore assess whether the statistical calculations in the report, prosecution exhibit 6, are correct or not?
Yes,
Not
that's
so.
correct. There's no evidence, I have not been provided with any evidence that Euroformics was validated to the system used by Uganda Police.
Based on what you have just told court, she cannot, the statistical calculations in the report, prosecution exhibit 6, she cannot assess if the statistical calculations in the report were valid. That being the case, you are therefore not in a position to tell whether the findings in that report are incorrect in any way.
The actual statistical
Are
evaluation,
you in a position to tell?
there's
whether
different
the
reasons why I
finding-
disagree with the statistics. So that's what I was starting to explain. It's the mechanisms of what was put in, not necessarily the workings of the product. So I disagree for very different reasons.
You have just told us that you did not do any statistical calculations in
Yes,
this
but
case.
it's not necessarily the final figure I'm disagreeing with. It's what was put into it So it's not Euroformics per se.
So, I'll go back to my question, and please listen to me. Because you did not do any statistical calculations, and you also did not have any validation to tell whether the statistical calculations are incorrect in any way.
The
Correct?
No, the information which was put into the statistical software is wrong. It's not necessarily the figure. If you don't put the correct information in, then the final figure out is questionable.
Okay.
It's not necessarily the internal settings. I disagree on the statistical, on the basis that the information put in wrong.
Okay.
So, despite the fact that you have to statistical
Yes, I disagree with the initial interpretation of the DNA results before it even got to statistics.
That's fine. Please confirm
Yes, even before. So the statistics is the final stage in the evaluation, and that's trying to give you the likelihood that the DNA has originated from certain individuals. That comes after the actual interpretation of the result itself.
we will get there. Please confirm that at page 19 of your report, paragraph 2,
Yes,
you actually agree with the findings.
yes, based on raw data.
You
I
agree?
would expect the billion from that raw data.
You agree?
Yes.
Okay.
It didn't need to go through specialist statistical software. So
Hold on.
I agree with
Hold
that.
on. Also at page 22, you agree with the findings, right? Look at your page 22, paragraph 2.
And again, there's a significant difference in that. I think we need
You
to,
do agree
But
with
it's-
the findings, don't you?
but it's not the statistical, it's,
Please,
this is
go
a major profile. It didn't require a specialist statistical
Ms. Henry,
evaluation, so
please
the
go
billion
to-
is sound. So I'm not necessarily
My Lord,
agreeing with
if
the
the
statistics.
witness can only listen and she stops talking.
At page 19, you agree with the findings based on the raw data.
Paragraph 2 of your report,
Yes, so yes,
And then at
page 22, yes.
what do you agree?
yes. So both of these results consist of DNA profiles from at least 2 with a clear major profile. That major profile is not in doubt that it's a single contributor, and therefore a billion can be assigned to that. It didn't require specialist statistical software at all. So I agree that on my interpretation of that result, there's a clear profile and immediately that gets assigned a billion. So I agree that irrespective of how they got there, it would come out as a billion. So I'm not agreeing with the statistical software per se. It's a very different way of doing mixture interpretation. You need to be clear what is actually being considered. Yes, so it's based on the electropherogram. There's a clear major profile. Immediately carries a 1 in a billion figure. It didn't require any statistical evaluation at all. So I agree that the final figures produced were 1 in a billion, irrespective of how the mechanisms that the Ugandan police went through to reach that final. So the interpretation based on the EPG, I'd expect $1 billion. So it's not agreeing with the statistical software per se.
Ms. Hindley, please confirm to this court that when it came to the statistical calculations relating to samples that belonged to the deceased, you agreed with the analyst.
Which sample, sorry?
However, when it came to samples that relate to A1, you choose to disagree.
No, that's totally wrong.
And I put to you that that is cherry picking.
That is totally wrong, and I find that quite
And you
insulting.
were very biased in coming up with this, your report.
No, the science is absolutely right, and I have reported the science as is present in the results, and I disagree where I disagree with the interpretation. There is no cherry picking at all.
In fact, you totally acted unethically and outside your code of practice.
No, that is not correct at all.
Akakolo k'ekirayita nakwiri nabamuteeka abajosonganirizi baitu muno muno asimu yali omubuntu kandi kino yali kikolebwa okuyika obu yatungire ekihandiiko kye olwo naikala natunga okumanyisibwa rundi okukwatibwa obugaali omunyero Eson Karuhanga kandi ekihandiiko kye kyakituwa nti akakitunga rundi akakimalirira ebyokwezi 17 omwezi ogwa 3 kandi obwo amateeka gamazire okwoleka nti omunyegerwa akubanza ayina omusango kandi ayina bingi ebyokusobola omu mateeka hano kandi nti omulingo gwakozeseiwe okutunga byona ebyatungire ebikwatagana ali obuhangwa bw'abantu kandi byona bikakozesebwa buli mulingo ogw'okwetereezebwa kandi ogumanyirwe ensi yona baitu obutakozesebwa omuntu weena mu nsi ezaheeru gamba nka UK kandi akiikirize nti guno omulingo gukatuukibwa hanyuma muno we amazire ekora emirimu ng'omuntu omukebera baitu amanyire ebintu byona ebikwatagana hali omulingo guno ogwakozesibwe we akakozesa omulingo gundi okora omulimo gwe kandi nti buli omu akozesa omulingo gwaba acwire mulundi ogwaba n'amanya baitu akaba atarweni kimwetagisa okozesa enkora ey'Abanyayuganda bakozeseze kandi bakora emirimu yaabo kandi mu bintu ebindi byona enkora yona baija ne bateekaho ebintu ebikugira rundi ebintu ebiragiro ebikwikirizibwa ensi yonna ebirakolwaho baitu kandi buli gwe yabalire atalina obusobozi obukusobola okwetegereza lundi okusobola okukaguliza hali enkola gye bakozeseize talina busobozi okusobola kwetegereza nti mazimako embalirira eno embalira eyo batungire ekaba etayitire lundi ekaba etakwinganangana omutindo gwensi yonna baitu kandi ekyamanyire nti kandi ekyakukiraniza nakyo nti obwoteekamu nti ebibateeremu bikaba bitalina ebyo nahabwekyo takwikiraniza nebyabigiremu baitu akwikiriza ebintu ebibatungire okuluga omumanyisibwa okutandikirwaho baitu nabo takwikiraniza nembalirira takwikiraniza na enkola eyibakozeremu embalirira eyibatungire hali abantu bano akwikiriza ebyabigiremu embalirira eyibatungire hali Henry Katanga baitu takwikiraniza nembalirira eyibatungire hali Mole kintu ekyeserwe nti akaba byayikire hali Mole akakora nk'omuntu akukoma ebijuma okuba ojja n'okumamu ebyengere byonka lundi ebyeze
Ms. Hingley, do you agree with me that parts of the report you agree with and parts of the report that you claim you disagree with
Yes.
were actually prepared using the same process?
I'm sorry. What do you mean process?
Same software, and therefore the calculations are system made.
I think there's a significant difference here in that when you have a major profile, there's no need. So I'm agreeing that the final result is as I would expect.
So you are agreeing to a major profile?
Yes. Okay. So I agree to the initial interpretation.
That's okay. And that report.
So the report relating to a major profile?
Yes. Yes, so if a major profile is present, I agree it will be 1 in a billion, but there didn't need to be any calculation to get to that finding. So that's not me agreeing with the statistical software. The real statistical software comes in the more complex DNA results.
Because there was no need for statistics.
No. We know that a full profile, a major profile, is well in excess of 1 in a billion, hence we apply the 1 in a billion.
Okay. But you'll also confirm to this court.
Every major profile. In the specific ones.
She has said every major.
That relates to a major profile.
Yeah.
I agree.
My understanding is specific.
Do we
take what you're saying?
Parts of the report which relates to a major profile you agree with.
Yeah.
Because there was no need for statistical calculation.
Yes. If I agree with the interpretation, it's a major profile, it's 1 in a billion.
My objection is that what I think we seem to be misunderstanding. I think we seem to be saying everywhere the report says major profile, we agree.
But it is him misunderstanding. We are not.
Misunderstanding. For us, we
I
have
don't
not.
know what she said.
What she has just said what I agree. Parts of the report that relate to a major profile, I agree with them. because there was no need for statistical purposes.
So if I've reviewed the DNA and I've called a major profile, I've reviewed it and agree the statistics.
All right. I'm going to begin on this, and it is a long topic. This one here. My Lord, the topic I am going to begin on is a long one. And once I begin on it, for me to communicate effectively to court, I wouldn't want a break on it. It's already 4 o'clock, and
We lost already 30 minutes. Can you break it up so that at least was by until it reaches 5.
I will try my best, but give it one, my Lord, the contamination is usually tube specific, and therefore a negative control cannot give absolute assurance about any associated samples, which says it's correct.
Unless you repeat,
When-
that's why we repeat.
Can I go ahead? When a laboratory produces an electropherogram, there is always electronic background noise
Yes, but
as
very
a
low.
baseline inherent to capillary
Correct.
electrophoresis.
Yes, yes, that's right.
Electrophoresis. And each expert is actually trained to identify and distinguish artifacts
Yes,
like to identify and distinguish artifacts like off-ladder alleles,
yes,
spike peaks,
yes,
forward stutter,
yes,
backward stutter,
yes.
and you are able to redact them from the electrophoregram. So laboratories across the world set their own analytical thresholds.
Yes,
Not
from the validation process, yes.
analytical thresholds. And the reason is because there is inherent background noise in every environment, right?
Yes, yes, there is, yes.
So in setting a threshold,
Yes.
any signal below the threshold is treated as background noise, not so?
There should be two thresholds in DNA profiling, one for the level of your background and one between which an allele is uncertain and then beyond which it is certain. So there should be at least two thresholds in the profiling system.
That's okay, and that's noted. But
Yes, one of which is the baseline. The second one is between baseline and uncertainty over a piece of information. And above that threshold, there's certainty.
here I am specific to the baseline.
Yes, which normally is about 50, very low.
So in setting the threshold, any signal below the threshold is treated as background noise.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
You have earlier told us that different labs set different thresholds based on their own validation. Not
Yes,
so?
yes, that's correct, but they're all generally in the ballpark figure. There's very little difference between them.
You agree that they are
They
set by
are,
labs?
yes, but they're all very similar.
They set thresholds based on their validation.
That's
Their
correct.
own validation.
Yes.
Okay. Are you privy to the minimum criteria set by the Directorate of Forensic Services Lab?
No.
Are you aware that the minimum threshold set by the Directorate of Forensic Services of RFUs was set at 300?
I had heard
Are
that
you
in
aware
live. I
or
am,
not?
but that is
Are you
that is too
aware
high. That is
or
far
not?
too high. That
Whether
is
it is
beyond
high
anything
or
I've
low, it's okay.
experienced.
Whether
Yes.
it is high or low, it's okay. But are you aware of it?
I'm aware of the 300, yes. That's the only threshold they have.
The minimum threshold set by DFS was
Yes, my lord.
but I think minimum is baseline.
As far as I'm aware, that's the only threshold they have. So anything below 300 is ignored.
Ms. Hingley, Technically, a negative control fails if an allele is called above the set threshold. Do you agree?
Yes.
A negative control fails if an allele is called above the set threshold. And she says she agrees. Right?
Yes. Yes.
In all the data you reviewed, did you see any peaks called by the software gene mapper below 300 RFUs?
Nothing had been labelled, but in my opinion, it's clear
Did you see
there is
or you did
clear
not
evidence
see?
of DNA in that sample, and the 300 is far too high.
Miss
My
Hingley,
Lord, we are here, I'm sorry. We all need to understand. If a question is clear, we request she provides an answer. In this particular case, my Lord, the question is clear. Did you see any? This court should be expecting her to say, I saw, or did not see, then we make progress. But she can't,
I am merely putting evidence into my opinion.
because she has to be of help to this court.
you reviewed. The question was, in all the data you reviewed, that is if you reviewed any, did you see any peaks called by a software gene mapper below 300 RFUs?
Nothing labelled on that EPG, no. But I disagree with the thresholds. So it wouldn't be called.
My Lord,
So I
My
disagree.
Lord, now what is
Not
the
within your
answer?
power.
I didn't see it.
To ask all the data fixed called by the software.
Gene mapper is G-E, capital G-E-N-E, my lord, and mapper.
So none of the fixed called by the software gene marker were below 300.
Mapper, yes.
Were below.
My Lord, I captured what she said, but I disagree.
Is another thing.
That's the witness's answer.
But that is the question you should be asking.
You will ask her that one.
My Lord, I am. No, Mr. Kabega is being violent. No, my Lord, he can't do that. He can't do that. You know. No. I am protesting your conduct, my Lord. I will not sit. I am protesting what you are trying to do. Yes. No, my Lord, in addition to what Mr. Kumwebas is trying to do. So he should listen, my Lord. Yes, my Lord.
Let us hear his opinion.
Okay, my Lord.
Your protection, my Lord. Thank you for your protection. I hand that to you. And my Lord, thank you for the protection. And my Lord, I want us to be, and we need to apply informed measures here. During our cross-examination, every time a witness, we say, stop there. My Lord, you kept guiding us and let the witness complete. So we can't cut the witness's answer because we only like the first part and not the last part. And then we say, no, wait for re-exam. She said, but I disagree. My Lord, let's capture
I did not ask
That's
her.
not waivers.
Yes, let's capture it.
The witness said, all the data, they did not see any fixed called by the software gene marker below 300.
Martha.
She has already, we already
Which
have
one,
it
Martha?
on
My
record.
Lord, it's
Martha. We already have it on record that she says that the threshold set by this is too high.
That I disagree.
No, my Lord, actually, my.
She's saying that she's aware that the
That
minimum,
are you done?
she's aware that the minimum threshold was
Already
set
one
at
for the judge, so you
300.
read, yeah.
She said that the minimum threshold was set at, but that is too high. That is all. The argument is already on record.
My Lord, what I want as a principle is, can we record the witnesses' answers? Even when we don't like
now,
it,
my Lord, that is exactly what I am objecting to.
can we record the witnesses' answers? Even when we don't
Your
like them.
concern has already been addressed, because the witness already stated. But the 300 is too high. It is on record.
When we don't like the answers, can we record them and then deselect them?
Mr. Tumevas, that part of her disagreeing is already on record.
Which one?
Of her disagreeing, that agreeing with the 300.
Bible
Because she said here that, but that is too high. Is that a disagreement?
When she actually saying that that is too high, she added something else which still my Lord.
And-
He said we don't-
And my Lord, that is no.
I'm still with me.
No, my Lord, that is where I have a problem with the defense. It appears very clear that the defense has specific things that, with due respect, what the witness has come to say. And they push so much. Please listen to me. Yeah, but I'm objecting to that. I am objecting to what he is on now.
It's already on record.
What can't stand up?
Yeah, but my Lord, if I am objecting to what he is trying to do, he cannot keep standing. So how do I object to you if you insist on standing?
That part of her not agreeing is already on record. So there is no need to.
What I want this court to do.
My Lord, does Mr. Tumweba say, know that when I am protesting what he's supposed to do, he should be courteous to sit down?
The answers are being recorded as the witness says them. Where is it? Because I've already recorded that one. Where she disagreed, it's already on record.
I don't do the Muslim. Yes.
And my Lord, we have a concern. Again, in the words of Mr. Tumwebaze, whether we like it or not, my Lord, it is our concern. From where we stand, it appears there are certain things that, with the greatest respect, the witness is meant to say. So much that, my Lord, even if the question does not touch that particular subject, the witness has to volunteer answers disconnected with the subject. Even if we ask a specific question, my Lord, that requires a clear answer for the guidance of this court, she is not willing to provide a clear, precise answer, but she divulges into information that is not being asked in cross-examination. And I have noted, my Lord, I may be wrong, that whenever she does that, the defense is so much interested in a court recording things even when we have not asked them. My Lord, may the witness be reminded that we have a role and they have a role. We understand from the evidence given so far that so much came from KAA. So much. But my Lord, they will have a chance in re-examination. But a witness cannot be fair to this court when we are dealing with a technical subject for her to continue providing answers to questions that we have not asked. My Lord, that is not fair.
Let us proceed. But being a scientific area, there are certain things that may require more than yes or no.
Which is okay. When
My Lord, in this particular, taking this, we are most obliged. But my Lord, taking the whether she saw any peaks called below 300. My Lord, there is no science in seeing or not seeing. Okay? Okay. Let's take his objection.
Although the figure 300 seems to be arising as evidence.
Sorry. I didn't get what my line for
The figure 300 seems to be arising as evidence from the fact. Although the record will reflect that we asked the prosecution for their validation documentation, and it was not supplied to us.
And my Lord, that is the exact problem that we have. That is the exact issue that we have. For now, the person understands who is supposed to answer questions is the witness, not KAA, not the lawyer's vote. So for the lawyer to
Was she aware that it was set at 3?
yes, which she
Said
considered.
that she was aware.
Yes.
So why she said she was aware?
Yes.
I am aware that the minimum threshold was set by DF4 at 3.
And how did she become aware if KAA is accusing us of not providing the information? So you can see the unfairness, my lord. So how did your client
Some
get?
organizations
No, it's there. Yes.
No, we are.
no, yeah.
We compensate for the time wasted.
What?
Yeah, but let us be there. So we can make it.
Missingly, please confirm that there was no peak that was called.
The question?
Please confirm to this court that there was no peak from the data you reviewed that was called below 300 RFUs.
Yes.
By that, it means that by the standard of the Directorate of Forensic Services, the negative control passed. Do you agree?
From the standards they've set, yes, but I disagree
Yes.
with,
From the standards, do you agree
they
that
have
it's
set.
passed?
but I have not been provided how they reached that level. So I cannot confirm if it's right or not.
Please,
It means that by the standard of the DF4 there,
the test for the negative control passed.
Correct.
Yes, set. From the standard that was set by the Directorate of Forensic Services, the negative control test passed. I don't know if you have your report
Yes.
on defense. In fact, I want to refer you to Defense Exhibit 5. Can you project it?
What's it? What's spent?
Defense Exhibit 5.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
setting of the threshold.
So the setting of thresholds means that by setting the 300, everything below that is in effect ignored as baseline. Where in actual fact, no laboratory I know has a baseline anything like that high. It's normally around 50. So our negatives will pick up anything from over 50 high. So it affects greatly interpretation of low levels of DNA, which is what you're expecting from your negative. So a 300 means they are missing so much DNA in their samples.
She's the regulator of the whole world. Do you have an interpretation?
They said that.
What you can.
Kwikiranyiza n'abakoze ekiwandiiko kino ekwatali obwanga bw'omuntu okusirikira hali ekisoko ekikoto muno ekikwatagana hali endugiriro yabyo baitu takwikiraniza n'embalirira eri bakoze eri habwokuba kikaba kitakwetaagisa embalirira yoona kandi nti amateeka gateekebwaho okulemesa rundi okwikiriza okukebera kuno gasobola okuha ekintu kyenyini ekikirekemo sikikira nti ebibali bikeberwa biba biri omu kaseke kandi abakugu balina obutendeke okumanya okwetegereza n'okwawukaniza ebintu byonna ebiheeseibwe ebikola hali emirimu nk'eno. Ebiteeka byonna bikebera biteekaho amateeka agakugira okutegereza okuba nibakola kandi gano gakwawukana ensi yoona kandi habamu buli kicweka kiba kiinamu etokotoko ekusobola kuleetaho ebitungibwa ebyawukana kandi ekintu kyona ekiri hansi y'amateeka agateirweho kitwalwa nga etoko omu kicweka ekyo kandi tugambe nti gano amateeka agateirweho gaba gali g'emiringo nk'ebiri hariho agali hansi nagali haiguruho kandi hano amateeka agateirweho gali gakwiganagana obujweka nka 13 bateeka tugambire nti takwekenzanisa nakyo habwokuba bali haiguru muno kandi mu biseera byonna ebyamuleka byonna ebya rosary atalula ekintu kyona ekiri hansi yakasitale kano akali ha namba 13 kandi ekitumanyisa byonna byakozerwe bikaba bihikire.
It's not document.
No, it was yeah. Let's try and find the original. It's the one.
It should be to go to the page that has negative control should be about 50 or 70.
Okay, is this the quant data?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. This one.
It's E2. It's got down a bit. Okay. Mhm.
Is it
Yes,
this one after 23?
yes.
Here. Yes.
Please go to the section where there is negative control.
I believe it's here.
Yes. Please confirm that there is no data there.
That's correct. There's no data recorded.
Yes.
Page 6 of the electronic document. So 52 of the EPG, taking off the 4 for the letter.
Page 60.
Is it?
Yeah.
Page 56. The pages are
I think page 56 should be a negative at the end.
yeah, but in the section of all the
Is that
negative control, ATC. No, had not. That is the CEO. So just go up, that page starts with which number? E what? Where there is negative control.
So E2 is the start, that's sample 13, and A4 is NTC, which I assume is the negative control.
And you please confirm that there is no DNA, no data that is provided.
There's no data.
Now, we have seen by that data, the negative control passed.
No, that shows that the negative control isn't recording any DNA, but it's not uncommon to obtain profiles from something the system has
But there was
recorded as
no-
zero.
And
There was no DNA, but that doesn't mean there's no profile there.
okay.
So this is an indication of the expectation of DNA in the
Yes.
sample. There's nothing recorded at all, and it's only the pictorial representation on the EPG which
Okay.
shows whether there is or not.
All right.
Stopping at a negative quant is wrong.
All right. If I am to understand what you have said, you mean that there was no DNA.
None that was recorded. I don't know the sensitivity
That is
of
it.
the test, so I can't say categorically none was detected.
But from that data, there was no DNA in the negative.
That records no figures, but I don't know the sensitivity of that test to definitively
Miss
say
Hingley.
nothing.
So when you add so many things, you complicate the whole story.
The fact that there's no data there, if the test isn't sensitive enough, the fact that
I
there's
have
nothing
not
doesn't
gone
mean
to
there's nothing.
sensitivity, Miss Hingley.
But you're saying
I
that they
am asking
absent.
you, by that data, there is no DNA.
There's no
record.
recordable DNA, and it
Exactly.
depends on its sensitivity as to whether there was DNA present
I
or
haven't
not.
asked you about sensitivity.
What do we report? The fact that there is no information where there is
It means that there is no DNA.
It means that no DNA was detected.
Yes.
Yes, it doesn't mean there was no DNA. No. It all depends on the sensitivity of the test. Yes. A blank is not a given, there was no DNA.
It doesn't mean that there was no DNA detected.
Yes, no DNA detected.
Okay. To the contrary, a positive control has all alleles called at all positions tested, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct. A known profile is run as a positive control.
I've answered it. Go to a page before to see the difference. Or
Which page?
according to mine would be 47, but it would go to
Positive, here we go. Yes, this is the positive control. Is that the same you have,
please go down a bit.
Dan?
Yeah. Again? All right. So go up.
Yeah.
This one is a positive control.
Yes, that's correct.
Please.
53.
If we are to go at position D3, put your cursor there,
Where am I?
up there.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Put your cursor on number 15.
Yes.
Number 15 is the allele.
Correct.
The number below it is an RFU.
Correct.
When you look at all the numbers which are on that positive control page, do you see any RFU below the threshold of 300?
Well amplified result.
Below the set threshold of 300. My Lord, relative fluorescent units.
But my Lord, I'm concerned. Mr. Kavega is not writing.
Lord, ask for me to write this.
My Lord,
We could begin from there.
my Lord, I am requesting to end here. We had a Thursday, such that I can start from on Thursday. Much obliged.
Because you have all the stops, right? And we want to follow.
I'm reading for someone.
Bring me out of this.
I'm reading for her.
Bring me out of this.
It's for her.
It's not rare that you've been nice to me.
I worry with you.
My Lord, from here, I'm happy. He always makes my
It's going to masturbate.
ahali omwanya kwonka ekikumanyisa nti tehaliho ebyobwangwa byobwangwa bwona baitu kikumanyisa nti tibalina ekibarozere kandi ebintu byona ebyo biteirweho okukonyera omulimo guno byona byobirolebwa kandi amazima gali nti busaho ekikole kalundi ekirozerwa ekiri hansi yakasitale akasazirwe ebikumi bisatu.
What does it